Okay, so hello and good morning. My name is Paulina with the Hedge Dynamics, aka TED, and I will be the host, pool taker, and timekeeper today. As I mentioned, this webinar will be recorded and a copy will be sent to you within a few days. And first, a special thanks to Leslie Jessa at AGC for inviting us in, and thank you, our attendees, for joining and sharing an hour with us to discuss how you can grow your business with AI. On a side note, as for the Moon and Mars image, as you can see, we'll explore them later in the presentation, and we'll have a Q&A at the end, and we would like for this to be an interactive webinar. We have couple pools set up, should be fun. And please use the Zoom chat area to make comments and ask questions. And if we do not get to your questions today, because our time will end, we'll follow up via email. And let's get going. We have three special guests today. MJ will begin the presentation with some compelling industry challenges and solutions. And
Hey, Paulina, can you switch? Sorry to interrupt. Can you switch slides? I can only see the.
Oh, yeah. See, I started to talk and I forgot. Yeah, so we have MJ, and he's based in the N Sparks, Spanish Springs area. Did I pronounce it right? N Sparks?
Correct.
Or
Yep.
okay. Brings to us over 40 years in global B2B business operations with a focus on the customer journey from marketing to sales and service and related technology solutions. And he has a true global mindset, having traveled to 40 countries and still counting, consulting in 20 and having lived/worked in 7 on 3 continents. Then we have Tom, who is based in LA, and he specialized in agile and project management methodologies. Tomasz has led numerous complex international IT projects in development, integration, and deployment. He is currently working on AI technologies, and he will cover all things AI with some interesting case studies, both construction and other industries. And then we have Kathryn, and she's based in South Reno, holds a PhD in mathematics, and specializes in an AI for the construction industry. And she will take you live into an AI session with prompt engineer 101 and live examples. Hope that I pronounced this one right. And then MJ, over to you.
Thank you very much, Paulina. Good morning, everybody. By the way, are we live today, Paulina?
No, finally, no, we
No?
couldn't do it, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna
That's
definitely
fine. That's
go
fine.
after.
Just want to
Yeah.
know if we're live. So thank you for the warm introduction, and hello, everybody who's joined our webinar today. Hello to my guest speakers, Tom and Kathryn. Can't wait to work and hear your presentations later on. So I wanted to jump right in and explain this Moon and Mars thing. So everybody may be familiar with NASA's initiative to go to, it's called Artemis, and it's their next mission to go to the Moon for the second time. Granted, there may be some of you who think it's going to be the first time. So I know there's two camps out there. And beyond the Moon, they want to go to Mars. And I think this is going to be happening, the Moon, and I think in 2026 or 2027. So what that represents to us is potential. And the potential, as you might imagine, to go back to the Moon, if you believe that, and then also go into Mars is going to require a lot of technical innovation. I mean, it just blows my mind that we're even thinking about Mars. So I can just wonder in wonderment what the technical innovation is going to be required to get there. But here's the thing about technical innovation. You know, everyone sees the potential, they see the opportunity, they see the upside. But when it's your business on the line, your construction business on the line, potential alone is just not enough. What is enough is to get some results. So NASA doesn't want to have failures. They don't want to have rockets blow up, et cetera, et cetera. And so just like your business, you don't want to have failures. You want to succeed and you want to drive results. So, you know, sure, technical excellence is important, but so are the business outcomes, like things like market fit and profits and growth for your companies. Especially here in Reno, where I live, growth is off the radar. Construction is off the radar, both residential and commercial, and you want to capture that growth and be competitive. And it's true, meeting innovation's potential means navigating, an asteroid field of business challenges that can cost time and money, and perhaps your window for mission success. It's why when you're building your next great thing or trying to grow your company to the next level, you have choices. So number one, you can focus on your technical innovation and hope it'll meet your objectives, your business objectives. Or number two, you can get the technical edge and connect the technical with the business and achieve actual results. So at Tech Edge Dynamics, I'm going to talk about us in just in a few minutes, but we're really proud of how we were able to connect the business and technology for our clients. Next slide, please. So to get these results, sorry, I need to get my screen. To get these results, you got to keep in mind today's fast-moving digital world, especially like we're going to be talking about today with artificial intelligence. It just blows my mind. I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn for our business, and it's just amazing that every day there's a new AI technology popping up. I'm now seeing these cheat sheets of, here's the top 50 AI tools, and I'm like, it's too much. It's information overload. But we need to take advantage of AI. We need to take advantage of these technical innovations, and we need to not fall behind, and we need to evolve, adapt, and future-proof our business. Next slide. So digital evolution, we used to use the word digital transformation. I've been around in this business for 44 years, and the word transformation to me is scary. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, construction company, you need to transform your business, I think that's like a big initiative and big cost and big money. So we like to use the word evolution and recognize what's your maturity, right? We take a look at, and we'd like to invite you to think about what is your digital readiness today? Kind of what stage of maturity are you with digital technologies, whether it's AI or just automating some processes or trying to improve your customer experience. There's a whole number of things where you can apply technology in your business. But it requires a rethinking of, your operations, your culture, and your approach to customer service. And so we're hoping that everybody today wants to prioritize digital engagement and be on some part of the journey of digital evolution. Next slide. So you also need to be adaptable and agile. You may have heard the term agile. It's used often in software development, and future-proofing your business. So digital evolution requires organizations to be flexible and adapt and future-proof your business. So what does that mean? Again, I said transformation is a big term. It can be scary. We encourage people to take baby steps, one department at a time, figure out an area of the company that needs to improve and could improve with digital technology, but then think long-term and see how you can apply that to the future of your organization. Next slide. So I'm going to share with you some statistics. These are kind of eye-opening statistics. We looked at a number of reports from some top industry analysts, and these are sort of an eye-awakening sort of statistics for you. So the first one is, if you don't react to this evolution of digital technology, if you don't react to becoming more innovative with technology, your costs will increase by 20%. So in today's economic environment of inflation, we don't know what's going to happen with the new administration, but it doesn't matter. I still see costs rising all the time. McKinsey tells us that we need to be forewarned and watch our costs. And technology is a way to reduce those. Next slide. If you don't react, again, to this digital revolution and evolution, your competition could be 23% more profitable to you. This also comes from McKinsey reporting. And again, you can see the rocket ship blowing up here. We don't want that to happen to your business. Because if your competitors are more competitive, in terms of profitability, you could be in trouble. Next slide. And if you do not react, again, to the digital revolution that's going on, and in this case, artificial intelligence, 60% of your customers won't return to you. And there's some great data from PricewaterhouseCoopers, Forbes, that talks about customers, who don't return to your website, for example, or don't stay there very long. You're just going to lose them. So really a startling number here, that if you don't take a look at digital evolution, you need to think about it more often. Next slide. And I think lastly, from Deloitte, 2/3 of your competitive edge comes from customer experience. So while we talk about digital transformation, digital evolution, and artificial intelligence, we see a lot of our clients focused on the customer experience. So whether you're a big, construction company, maybe you're a subcontractor in plumbing, HVAC, electrical, what have you, no matter what size you are, no matter what level of maturity you are in terms of your company, taking a look at your customer experience, we've learned is critical to success. Next slide.
Okay, now.
There we go. So there's some bad, so that's kind of the bad news. I shared some alarming statistics there, the 61%. I mentioned, 40% go to your competitor's website if they have trouble with the mobile site. 32% will stop interacting with the brand after one bad experience. The great news is your customers will pay for it. This is a consistent trend in the industry. 67% will pay for a greater experience, whether it's on your website or mobile. 70% connected processes are very important to winning their business, and 74% business buyers would pay more for a better B2B experience. So that's the great news. Go back.
Wait, it's, yeah, here.
There you go. Okay, so next slide. Thank you, Paulina. So taking a look at digital transformation or digital evolution and artificial intelligence, which is really the topic today, and we're going to talk in more detail in a couple of minutes. According to Accenture, the top 3 areas companies are investing in and scaling up are cloud capabilities, AI, and Internet of Things. So today we're going to talk about AI in much more detail and how it applies to construction. And as you can see from the report here, it's an important topic to be thinking about. Next slide. So here's the thing with AI and with data. It's just increasing exponentially for all of us, even here in our home offices, even on our iPhones or Google phones, what have you. And of course, in companies, the data that's being generated is off the charts, off the radar. And Tom's going to talk later about this increase in data and what we can do with it and get some value out of it. And secondly, it's really important to recognize, automation and robots and software bots cannot work alone. We know for a fact that humans need to be involved. And that kind of relates later to when we talk about workforce enhancement. Next slide. And what's more important as well is the data, this mass amount of data that you need to get under control. It defines you. It actually becomes part of your intellectual property. And so labeling that data correctly, being able to search for it and find it and put it to high value use is critical for your business. Next slide.
Okay.
So digital transformation or evolution, customer experience, and AI, these are really specialties for TechEdge Dynamics. I just want to talk a couple slides about the company, and then we'll move over to Tom. So next slide, please. A good partner is key. A report by Boston Consulting Group and Veeam Consulting surveyed a large audience and found out that 65% of digital transformation efforts will fail, and lack of skills and expertise is the most common hurdle. So a good partner is key, and upskilling your workforce is even more important. Next slide. So TechEdge Dynamics, we're headquartered in Las Vegas. We've been around 2 years. We're growing like a rocket ship. We're doing business globally, but we're very well connected in the Nevada workplace. And we position ourselves as the growth studio for consistent business results, where your potential, whether it's going to the moon or going to Mars or just growing your company 10x, meets its moment. And so we'd love to talk to you more about this later on after the webinar. And let's go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Our DNA, which kind of makes us unique, is really 3 things. We have mission-tested business leadership. That includes our founder, Raphael, down in Las Vegas, Tom, who's on the call today in Los Angeles, and myself in Reno, and a couple of others. And we have, I think, over 150 years of experience combined in business leadership. We're not newbies to the industry. A few old guys here with a lot of experience. And we have an elite technical team that's been ranked #1 globally. We can share that report later. But our technical talent when it comes to AI or software development, software programming, product development is really world-class. And then we have proven methodologies such as Agile, such as design thinking that we put together that, as mentioned earlier, connects that business to your technical initiatives. Next slide. So what do our clients say? They really say 3 things to us. We've had an impact on their business growth. That usually means new revenue, new sales. It could also mean better customer experience, so customers stay around longer or renew or repeat their business with you. We have an impact on the workforce, whether it's AI, which we're talking about today, or other technological skills. We've helped our organizations improve their skill set, avoiding layoffs and that sort of thing. And of course, really importantly, we all talk about operations. That means efficiency It means doing things faster and better. It can mean robots, but it also means interacting with humans with the robots, and we can help in that space as well. Next slide. The results from our clients tell the story. I'm not going to read all of this. You can look at it later, but you can see that we have actual results that we've achieved, actual ROIs with a number of industries, including construction. Tom's going to talk about a construction ROI later on. And I'm not going to read this, but you can see from new sales increased customer retention, all the way to efficiency gains from 25 to 40 to 50%, and back to customer satisfaction up to 98%. Some really impressive results that we've achieved for our clients. Next slide. How do we do it? Again, not going to walk through all the details here, but we do have, it's really table stakes industry. We have a process map. We have a digital roadmap that we work with you on. It's fairly straightforward. And then we supplement that with consulting and advisory services to make sure you get the best results for your business. Next slide. All right, that's it for me. I just wanted to summarize by saying, some alarming statistics out there. I hope it was an eye opener for you. And we can get you those reports if you're interested in them further. And a little bit about Tech Edge Dynamics. We're excited to host this webinar today. Excited to have Tom and Kathryn here. And while we're getting ready to switch to Tom, just real quick in the Zoom chat, if you guys don't mind just making a quick comment, what is your biggest technical or business challenge? Remember, we try to connect the dots between the two, but maybe you're a business thinker, maybe you're a technologist kind of person. For your construction business or subcontractor business, what do you think is your biggest challenge? And with that, we're going to switch over to Tom, and Paulina can review the results in a bit. We'll wait like a minute, I think. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mark. Paulina, we can move forward, I believe.
Okay, yes.
And I stayed to my 15 minutes.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Boinski. I live in LA. I'm a management consultant here at TED, Tech Dynamics. I will basically present you a little bit about AI, generative AI, in the nutshell. Let's call it AI 101. Before we jump in, a little bit about fundamentals. Let's start with definitions. As you may heard multiple times, plenty of talk around about large language models. We call them LLMs. So it's good to start with this definition. This is basically a brain, generative AI brain, a model which process your question, your prompt. Those models come with different sizes. We call them parameters, number of parameters, parameter count. Some of them are like small ones, like 3 billion, 5 billion, 7 billion, but some are super extensive, like generative AI, like OpenAI's product ChatGPT, which is like basically hundreds of billion of parameters, or Gemini or Llama. Context window is something that we put inside in the prompt. So this is basically the full input you're putting into LLM, your prompt, any kind of syntax, any kind of text snippet you're gonna add to your query, and the whole basically message which you will send to LLM, that's the context window. And of course, bigger context window, bigger question you can ask. Next one. Tokens. Basically, token is like a monetary value for LLM. This is like a translation from word, from a text to a specific notation. We count words in tokens. So this is like number of tokens. If you're gonna hear something like this, like a number of tokens, that means basically this is the initial translation from word representation to a numeric translation for LLM. Base model, foundational model, we call those most popular models around you, which you're probably using right now, like Microsoft Copilot, like ChatGPT, like Llama, like Gemini, those most popular ones, or less popular ones like Mistral or others on the market. Those models are very specific because those models were trained exactly. Training data set, that's another term to understand, are trained on very generic data, basically trained on the data from internet, from different libraries, different repositories of data, like public ebooks, like Wikipedia, and those models are very general. So you can ask general questions about general topics, but if not trained or very specific topic, they won't provide super in detail information. Next one. Now let's talk about a little bit about generative AI versus LLMs, because this is like the most popular confusion in generally speaking. A lot of people trying to put on the same page generative AI and LLMs. So what's the difference? When we're speaking about generative AI, it's about creating content. So generative AI is the version of AI when you're gonna ask the model behind to create a content. That might be text content, that might be image, that might be audio, video, whatever you're gonna ask. If you will ask LLM, large language model, in most cases you're gonna use text, and you will have a text also as the output. So speaking about generative AI solutions that are basically using only one way for input and for output, we're speaking out unimodal generative AI solutions. If we were like using, for instance, generative AI made by OpenAI, uses ChatGPT, you can ask for pictures, you can ask for text output also. That's multimodal in this case. What's important to remember, each generative solution will use different large language model or any other model. And some generative AI solutions will allow you to switch between different models from different providers. So yes, thank you very much. Okay, well, yeah, one more thing here to add here. Back. Remember that there's like of course, like a whole life cycle of any model. You have to get training data. You need a lot of computing power to train the model on your data, not on your own data, but any kind of data. Then fine tune the answers. And this is a very, very, very expensive and very complex process. Next slide. The biggest challenge with LLMs right now, and this is really something to explain, to highlight. We are living in very turbulent environment right now. You can see, you can spot new models, new solutions popping up every day, and sometimes it's really frustrating. Like every day something new. This is something very hot topic right now in the business spectrum also. And we're gonna see probably in the future more and more emerging models, even more sophisticated, more complex ones. Thank you. Let's move forward. So why and how we should use generative AI chatbots? This is the question. In most cases, there are like several scenarios. We made an experiment. So we do a little bit of research using Reddit. Reddit, as you know, this is a very popular worldwide forum for millions of users. As you can see, millions are visiting Reddit every day. We did some data research around Reddit, and what we have found. As you can see, the bullet list, in most cases, people on Reddit are using generative AI for promotional sales copywriting, summarization of complicated papers, finding info in vast repositories of documents, customer support bots to take on basic repetitive queries, and coding, like Copilot for coding. But what does it mean in the end? That it means basically, in most cases, people are using a RAG architecture combined with generative AI. And now I will explain what exactly RAG is. Next one. Thank you. So what is RAG architecture? RAG architecture, this is basically an acronym. So it's basically retrieval augmented generation. It means exactly that. During a process of asking your generative AI, putting in your prompt with external text snippet, for instance, that data, that input will be translated into numeric form. We call this embedding model with vectors. The solution will look into vector database for similarities for data corresponding with your query. So we'll look up for specific data in external database and will retrieve, that's why it's retrieval, we'll retrieve the context from the database, not from the LLM, from the database first. Then we'll enrich your question, your query, your prompt with the extra data from this vector database, and LLM will create beautiful output, like generating human-like answer based on the input. You will have your response. So that's basically retrieval augmented generation. Next one. Now, as TechEdge Dynamics, we have a product called Bluebox AI. This is something we would like to present today. Bluebox AI is a creation of Polish developers. And what it is exactly? Bluebox AI is exactly the RAG, so retrieval augmented generation solution, using different LLMs, depends on the situation, use case scenario, but it is combined with company data in one data lake, in one data warehouse, huge collection of your data, your private IP, your sensitive data, or your proprietary data in one place. So it's combined of huge database with your data. It also might be like, SharePoint, any kind of report, if you're Jira, even your supply chain, ERP or CRM, whatever, any kind of data in one data place. And on the another half, there's like basically this brain, AI brain, generative AI brain, that will basically use your data. What is super important about Bluebox AI, this is like a private generative AI solution. You can work freely with huge security and safety with your data, company's data, in a safe and private environment. Nobody will use your data outside. You will not provide your data to third-party companies. And of course, also the companies providing LLMs won't train the model on your data. So that's super important to remember. Next slide. How can we use Bluebox? We can use Bluebox as your basically natural chat. So you can basically create your different knowledge bases, different knowledge collections, depends on the, for example, on the domain, on the department. So for legal, there might be a different collection, for procurement, a different collection, for any other sales, different collections. You can chat with those collections. You can, instead of doing typical queries, SQL queries, SQL queries, like looking for specific data, you can just chat like with any other typical generative AI solution. You can use Bluebox also on your front end, on your web page, as a widget, which will basically also be connected with specific collection in the backend, and basically will provide exactly the answers people are going to ask you on the website. You can connect Bluebox AI also to virtual human, any avatar on the web page on the front end, and provide meaningful answers based on your data, on your collections in a data storage, in a data warehouse. Next one. Paulina, thank you. One of our solutions, I will tell you now about the second example. One of our solutions, we created a scheduling, I would say even more. It's not only scheduling, it's a full-blown multi-module solution for a construction company. I can't disclose the name. We created a solution which basically moved the old-fashioned traditional way of managing the work in a company, from the data intake, even from the proposal, from the pricing step, to process this whole each query across the board, across the whole company, across all other departments, for scheduling, for managing subcontractors, managing the execution of work, to finally to billing and invoicing. So in this solution, next one. So this solution, as you can see on the screen, was made basic as a custom-made solution for a construction company, but we also incorporated AI to this solution, and basically AI was implemented as a helpful tool on the side to help users use the application during various steps within different processes running in the app. For instance, from formatting the documents, for communication with clients. Implementation is basically unlimited. You can add AI for various steps in such solution, which will basically boost your efficiency drastically. Next one. The ultimate question, should I pay for premium features? Of course, yes. I will explain why. In most cases, if you're using free generative AI solution, free chatbot, free solution like Microsoft Copilot or like ChatGPT, there are some limitations and constraints. The biggest constraint is that if something is for free, you have some limitations like the number of queries, prompts you can use, the quality of the answer, the accuracy of the answer, possible hallucination in your answer. Hallucination means like LLM generative AI making up things like imaginary answers, providing imaginary answers. So what we can get out of premium features, most cases, best and newest models, because models are developing rapidly. So each day you can have access to a better, bigger, more sophisticated model. The usage of such paid solutions also will provide much better reliability. Like yesterday, we could experience like a huge basically downtime of ChatGPT, for instance, almost whole day it wasn't working. Better user experience, of course, all more features. You can create your own custom simple racks, public racks, like for some of those solutions will provide you to create like a custom GPT. This is semi-rack, basic native rack solution when you can upload some documents. But remember, that's not going to be private. You're going to expose your data outside. You can use different models. You can connect ChatGPT over API, so integrate with your assets already used in the company. So yes, that's the general conclusion. At least try once, feel the difference between paid solution and free solution, and you're gonna basically see how drastically your user experience will change. Next one, please.
Hey, Tom, time check. I just like
Yes,
one.
last slide. Thank
Okay.
you very much, Mark,
Cool.
for the reminder.
Cool.
So
Cool.
most important takeaways from my AI 101. Remember, AI is the next industrial revolution. So please catch up with things what's going on. Give AI a chance if you haven't so far. It is very important to catch up with the things on the market, and also for your industry. That's crucial to get the basically be on the edge with the competitors. Remember that generative AI, it's not same as model. Different solutions, different GenAI solutions are using different models. Play around, test, master prompting. Prompting is basically the way how you ask chat with any chatbot. And try premium. So try Blue Box AI. I really encourage you to try our solution in the future. So if you're willing to do so, I can provide a demo version for you just to give it a try. Thank you very much. That's the last one.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Okay, Kathryn, do you want to share your screen?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay, so as Kathryn gets set up, we would like to ask you the first of our two polling questions. How comfortable are you with AI being used in your daily work or business operations? I can even, now you will see on the screen.
Can everybody see the poll? There you go.
Yes.
I see people are very comfortable with AI.
One person.
Mark, is it you?
No, I didn't vote. I didn't want to influence the results here. So anybody else there have a minute to vote real quick?
Okay, I guess we can just stop for now. If someone wants to later write in the comments or in the chat, just feel free and we'll start. So, okay, over to you, Kathryn.
Okay, thank you so much. Can everybody see my screen? Just want to verify. Wonderful.
Paulina, take down the
Perfect.
poll. Oh, I guess I need to do it. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
you need to do it
There
by
you go.
yourself. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Ted, for having me. My name's Dr. Kathryn Hechtel. I'm with TechFrontier AI Consulting, and I'm just so excited to be here as a guest speaker for Ted. My background is in mathematics. It's not technically in construction, but I've spent a significant amount of time studying exactly how AI can support construction companies. And so what I want to share with you today are some tips on how to prompt AI and some 3 live demos of ways that AI can support your company. And these demos I tried to gear towards the challenge that I hear most often in the construction industry, which especially here in Reno is that there's plenty of work, but there's not always enough technicians, and managing the resources that you do have can be very time consuming. So I want to chat with
Wait,
you.
we have a question for the in Q&A. We have a question. What kind of physician are you? I don't know to who there's this question.
Oh, my PhD is in mathematics. And so my research area was algebraic coding theory, and I've done a lot of research also in AI and in optimization. Just to answer that question. Any others?
For now, no. If something will come up, then I will mention it.
Wonderful. Okay. So the first thing I want to chat with you is about prompt engineering. And so this is how you want to actually chat with your AI model. AI is obviously very good at processing language, but it needs all of the components in order to give you a good response. And so when we talk about this, a lot of times this is referred to as prompt engineering. And the first thing I try to put in a prompt at any time is I always like to start off with something like, imagine you're a project manager responding to an email from a client, right? You want to put the AI in your shoes so it's responding from your point of view. It's also important to be very specific about what you want to come out of the AI. So if you want an email that is 3 sentences, you should tell it, I expect the response to be an email with 3 sentences. Or if you want a bullet point format and use a brief language with incomplete sentences, usually you have to tell that as well. It's important also to provide as much context as you can. So I always say the more context, the better. It gives the AI a bigger picture for what's going on so it can understand all the nuances and components in order to give you the best response. It's also important to give it step-by-step instructions. There's some new models out there like ChatGPT's newest model that's better at knowing to think through steps. Most of the time though, you're going to want to tell it, you need to do this first, this second, this third, so that it does those things in order and gives you the best results. Now, of course, when you have all of these things in a prompt, it can end up being very long. And so what's nice is that with a lot of user interfaces, you can actually save your prompts for future use. And that's what you'll see I have done here is that I've saved a lot of my work ahead of time and I can just call on it when I need it, which is really nice. Oops, let me get back. Okay, so here are the 3 live demos that I'd like to share with you. And again, this is all addressing that challenge that I hear about of ensuring your technician and resource availability. So the first solution is going to be an AI-driven solution. So I'm going to show you how AI can read through a very lengthy document and pull out very specific pieces of information so that your project manager isn't sitting there scrolling just for 1 or 2 lines. And so this is all based off of, this demo will come from this demo proposal that I have. You can see it's 46 pages long. It has the typical client information and the company information, a scope of work, and then a ton of products. This happens to be for a demo based off an electrical contractor company. And you can see if I scroll all the way down, I finally get to, it's almost page 40, I finally get to the details I actually care about of what are the payment terms, the installation contract, and things like that. And so what my client asked for was something that would just grab these parts of information and put it into a smaller document that's easier to reference. And so that smaller document looks something like this, where you can see it grabs the owner name and the job number right from the bottom here. It grabs certain payment details. It read through the contract and determined that it's a fixed price contract over a time and materials contract. This is important right in here. You'll notice that it says information not found for billing frequency. It's important that if the AI doesn't find something, this is correct, by the way, there wasn't billing frequency information in here. You want to make sure that the AI isn't going to just make up information and just put it in there. Like Tom was talking about earlier with hallucinations, right? That can happen. And so it's important that it will just put placeholders if it doesn't find anything. So that's what's happening here. And then you can also see the contract price went over correctly, which matches, which is great. And then the payment schedule was grabbed, and this section on labor and materials, which is more useful for time and material contracts. But this just gives a very quick way of getting that information. And for this client, this actual tool was built on an app that I made for them, because you don't want to send an entire 40-page document to ChatGPT if you don't have to kind of cut back costs. And so this particular example just grabs pieces of the document to send it over. So I don't have an exact prompt to show you, but this just gives you an idea of the kinds of information you can use it for. Do I have any questions on this one? I'll leave this up, I suppose, for a second.
Yeah.
All righty, so I'll move on to the next one then.
Yeah, we have the comment. Love it. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, good. You're welcome. So my second demo here is a custom software-driven solution. So it's not so much AI.
Okay. We have two more. Which platform should we get started with? I'm new but very interested.
Well, I would say ChatGPT is a great place to start, just to start playing around. I think my very first thing I ever used ChatGPT was for meal planning. I was like, let me just see what this does. You can just start asking questions. I think ChatGPT is the friendliest to kind of get going with. And if you don't know if the AI can do something, you can ask it if it's actually capable of doing something. To say, hey, are you able to help me with this task? And it will tell you yes or no. And it'll tell you how it would need a prompt and things like that. So it's kind of fun because AI can help you to use AI.
Free or paid version?
I do prefer the paid version. I think it's very useful to have. It's just $20 a month for ChatGPT. Of course, there's lots of different solutions out there, but I think that one's just really user-friendly. The paid version is just better in its responses, and I think you can attach more files and do more with it. But the free version is still useful. You will still find ways to incorporate it, I'm sure. Anything else? I don't actually have the chat open, so.
Yeah, no, nothing more for now.
Okay. Wonderful. I will go ahead and move on to that second solution then. So as I was saying, it is a custom piece of software. And so the problem that was brought to me was, hey, I have all of these schedules, but I'd really like to use some software like Microsoft Projects or some other ones that will tell you your resource allocation, so you know when you might need to hire more people or when you might need to schedule some trainings for people. It'll also help you determine when you can take on your next project and things like that. But when you have a lot of ongoing projects, implementing something like this can be very time consuming. And so what I've done for this client is they get a bunch of schedules that look something like this off of their software. I think they're using DTools. And so we wanted to turn these Excel sheets, which just have your task names, duration, start and end, your resource names, and there's predecessors here. So one can't start till the other one finishes, things like that. And we wanted to turn them into a Microsoft project in an efficient way. So before I hit start on this one, I'll just show you that I do have this resource pool set up for a certain number of employees, and you could put in all their information if you'd like to. And over here, I'm just going to hit start on my program, and it's actually going to open each of my Excel files that I have, and it's going to manually schedule them. There it goes. And so you can see it actually adding each task to this project. It's going to save the project, close it, and then open the next schedule. I had 2 in this folder. You do this with as many as you need. And see there, it saved that one, add it to the resource pool, and now it's starting on the second one. And so this will also save and then also be added to the resource pool. We'll be able to roll this up into a master schedule. Okay, so it's just finished. So you'll notice that now 2 of my employees are highlighted red, and that is because they are overscheduled. They're both expected to be in 2 places on the same day, and that's not possible. So what's cool next is I can exit this, say, yes, I'll save, and I can reopen my resource pool. And when it opens, processing, it gives me this pop-up, this option to create a master schedule. So I say, okay, and it always appears underneath the project. Let me open the other one. And so here's now my master schedule. It has both those schedules that were just created. It's connected to the same resource pool, and I can view my timeline or Gantt chart of the projects, and I can see who's working on what projects, maybe when I could take on a new project. There's lots of different reports you can get out of Microsoft projects. This will also has an auto schedule feature, so I could just ask it to reschedule some of these events. It'll take care of those over allocations for me. So this is a great piece of software if you can get your information into it. And so this was one of the things that I was asked to make. So if there aren't any questions about that.
Not maybe about that, but we have one more question. Worried about what I upload going into a data bank where anyone can access and use it. Any advice?
Yeah, so there are solutions like, so this one that I've created for this client, this is all hosted on their own servers. It's all their own data. I understand that for TED, it's also a priority to keep your data secure. Maybe Tom, you want to talk a little bit about how Blue Box handles data?
Security. Yep.
Right.
Jump right now. Okay. So the biggest, I think, thing here is that for any kind of usage of generative AI, whatever the solution we're gonna use, we have to understand that we are processing the data somewhere in the cloud, and we're basically giving our data to the generative AI solution provider. So using any solution available to anyone in the internet, like most popular ones like ChatGPT or Gemini or Microsoft Copilot, whatever you're gonna type in and whatever you're gonna attach, you're gonna send the data to Microsoft, OpenAI, or Google, and they will, of course, use that data somehow. So that's basically sharing your data. For Blue Box AI, you gonna do exactly something opposite. That's a private solution. That means it can be deployed on bare metal or in a private cloud. On this platform, you're gonna run a model inside a closed environment. And on the side is gonna be also your own database, data storage or data warehouse with your data, your private data. So everything is closed in one environment. So that's the difference between the things we use on daily basic. We're using those popular solutions available on the internet. But the trade-off is that we're sharing the data. So even if you're gonna go to any solution, and you're gonna ask, hey, summarize this document for me, and you're gonna attach a PDF file or any other file, and imagine that might be like your property or IP property or like something sensitive from your company. You're gonna expose the data to the third party. With Blue Box, the whole process is within one safe and secure private environment. So the data is not going outside. Even the model which is running inside Blue Box, this model is running on your hardware or in your private cloud. So in the private cloud, that also means no data is basically available to even to the model provider, model owner. So that's super important to remember. And yes, a lot of companies, even if you're gonna look in the internet, a lot of companies already they have such problems with employees sharing the sensitive company proprietary data with the internet, with LLM providers. Thank you.
Awesome.
I want to just add one thing too, that, you know, it might seem okay to put a training manual or a, you know, manual for some kind of piece of equipment on ChatGPT. You won't worry about it. But once you start interacting with it and you're telling ChatGPT how to interpret it, then ChatGPT or OpenAI could take that data, they'll train on it, and now your competitors, when they go to use ChatGPT, will be using a model that's trained on your data. So
exactly,
yeah, so you don't necessarily want to share. It's definitely important to keep your data private, or you're just helping everybody else and not yourself. So, but I like that. Is there anything else that has come up, or should I go ahead and jump into my third demo? I think
You can go ahead.
All right. So this third one is, I wanted to show you how AI can assist with hiring by filtering through a bunch of resumes for you. And it's going to look at candidates based off their experience, the job requirements, and actually also your company values. And so for this example, I've set up a custom GPT. Oh, I guess the page is refreshing. Here we go. And sorry, give me 1 second. I hope ChatGPT isn't failing me. I don't know if anybody else had issues yesterday when it went down for several hours. I think yesterday or the day before. Let me go ahead and reopen this. There we go. Here we go. So a custom GPT is something where you can, off of ChatGPT's website, you just click create a custom GPT, and it's like a chatbot GPT, or it's a GPT chat box with predefined instructions. So I can put these instructions in here once, and then I know I can just talk to this model whenever I need to. So I've got this long prompt here that talks through what I want the AI to do. So you can see I start with, you are a specialized hiring assistant for Highland Electrical Solutions. Your purpose is to evaluate resumes for the project manager position and identify candidates who best match both technical requirements and company values. And so I've got the company information, written out the company values, the job requirements of a project manager, how exactly I want the AI to evaluate the resumes. And then I ask it to rank the top 3 candidates, and I tell it exactly how it should respond and what recommendations it might have. And so I'll close this out, and let me make sure I'm on a new chat. Open that back up. There we go. So in this chat now, this is my hiring assistant specifically. And you can see the description here. All I'm going to say is, please review the attached resumes. You have to say something in this prompt, but not much, because I've already included all of those details. And so I'll just go here and I'm going to attach the resumes that I have. And I've just made up a bunch of resumes to demo with. I'm going to go ahead and attach these. And I'm going to ask it to review them and tell me the top 3 candidates. And there it's going. And it gives them a score. It gives recommendations for things to talk about. You can then ask it what questions you should maybe ask each person based off of their specific resumes. You can kind of chat with the bot now. And it's giving us.
Kathryn, how was the score? How was the score built?
So the score was based off of it kind of said on 0 to 100, give me their closest technical requirements and company values and take the average. And so it kind of just said, like, how well does this align? And it would give us that score. And as a kind of a cheat for me to know that it's giving me the right answer, I put a V for the people that have the right aligning values for the company as the middle name. It's not, and it was just in the title, it's not something the AI should notice, but it does give us those top 3 candidates that I was looking for. As a
V
kind of a
for
quick
very
way to,
good.
was
V
that?
for very good. V for very good.
Right.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
and then G for good for these 2. So you can see it really is giving me the top 5 overall. I had some bad ones and some medium ones in there. And what's nice about this is that even if you're getting resumes from Indeed, from your email, from Workday, wherever, you put them all in one folder, you ask the AI to review them, and now you're set. And so I really like this for a way of kind of quickly getting through it. You're not spending a ton of time on hiring then, and you can get right to the point. So that was another fun example. But that is it. I will go ahead and pass it back over to Paulina, I think. Maybe
Yes.
a couple minutes for questions.
Yes. Thank you, Kathryn. That was pretty cool.
Wonderful.
I know I need to go quickly. Okay, so I don't see any questions for now. Wait, not now. But I want to wrap this up, and thank you all again for your participation today. We hope you found it of value, and we have one more poll. So if you don't mind, just give me a minute. I need to find it. I made too much polls. Yes. No, not this one. No. Wait. Yeah, okay, I cannot find it, but if you can write in the chat, would you be open to further training, education, advice, or product innovation on AI technologies relevant to your role or organization? And we have something in the chat. Yes. Okay, that was fast.
All right, let's wrap up.
Okay, we don't have many more questions for now, or maybe
Yeah, we kind of ended up doing questions in the middle there, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
That works too.
Okay, so thank you all. Maybe Mark, do you want to say something more?
Just thank you all very much. Put up our emails so everybody has our emails.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So, and we'll share the deck so you can get all our contact information. But Tom and I are over at TechFrontier Dynamics, and Kathryn at her company. She's a partner with us, and so thank you all who attended today. Really appreciate it, and thanks to our guest speakers. Thanks to Tom and Kathryn. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and
Thank you.
we have a couple follow-ups, and we'll hopefully see you soon on another one.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Kathryn.
Bet.
Thank you,
Okay,
Paulina.
goodbye,
Thank you, Mark.
everybody. At the top
Thank
of
you,
the
everybody.
hour.